welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're setting out on kind of a cool mission. We want to explore how even really simple, everyday conversations can actually tell us a lot about life, habits, maybe even self-improvement.
Exactly.
Our source material for this deep dive is just a straightforward chat between two friends, Arian and Ria. It was originally put together, I think, for English learners.
Yeah, that was its first purpose. But we're looking deeper.
Right. So for us, the goal isn't vocabulary. It's about unpacking the little details, the different ways they see things in just their daily back and forth. We think there are some hidden nuggets of wisdom in there. So we'll guide you through it, point out what feels important or maybe a bit surprising.
And it's fascinating, really, how something seemingly so basic, just a casual chat, can be, well, a pretty rich source for understanding how people tick, how they interact. We're looking for those subtle cues, the things behind the words.
Definitely. And we're better to kick things off than the start of the day. Let's jump into Arian and Ria's morning routines. Ria mentions, yes, I woke up at 6 a.m. And then she lists off a pretty disciplined start, right? Brushing teeth, shower, 20 minutes of yoga.
Yeah, that 6 a.m. and the yoga, it immediately stands out.
It is that signal to you right off the bat.
Well, it's more than just ticking boxes. It feels like she's setting up these keystone habits, waking up early, doing yoga consistently. These aren't just random tasks. They often have this ripple effect, setting a proactive, maybe self-care focused tone for the whole day.
That makes sense. That kind of discipline early on can really influence everything else. And then you have Arian. His morning sounds quite different, more casual.
Well, a lot more casual.
He says, I just drink tea and scroll my phone. And Ria kind of gently suggests, you should also exercise a little.
And his response is gold.
It is. I'll try tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah, the classic maybe.
It instantly brings up that whole thing about meaning well versus actually doing something, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's that, what psychologists sometimes call the intention-behavior gap. Ria's habits seem really ingrained. She's got the self-regulation down. Arian's, I'll try tomorrow, maybe. It's not like he doesn't want to, necessarily. But it hints at the mental effort needed to start something new. Especially without a concrete plan, like when exactly is tomorrow?
Yeah.
How will he exercise? It sets a very different vibe for their days right from the get-go.
Okay, so from the disciplined versus relaxed morning, let's talk about breakfast. Fueling up. Ari mentions having toast and boiled eggs. Pretty standard stuff.
Yep, straightforward.
But Ria had poha and a banana. And then she says something interesting about cooking. Arian asks if she cooks daily, and she says, yes, I enjoy cooking. It's fun and relaxing.
That's a striking detail, isn't it? Finding joy, even relaxation, in a daily chore like cooking.
Yeah.
It's not just about eating. For her, it seems to be a source of pleasure, maybe even a way to de-stress. It suggests she's found a kind of flow in a routine task, turning something necessary into something, well, almost meditative.
Or creative, even.
Or creative, exactly. It could reflect values like self-sufficiency or just being mindful in everyday life.
And Arian seems genuinely interested.
Yeah.
He replies, wow, teach me someday.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder how many other daily tasks we could reframe like that if we had Ria's mindset.
That's a great point. These small choices, what to eat, whether to cook, they really do offer a little window into deeper values. It could be about health, like you said, self-sufficiency, or finding relaxation in unexpected places. It's fascinating how these tiny decisions add up to a lifestyle.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at the daily grind work, study commitments. This is often where purpose comes in, right?
Definitely.
Ria's day sounds pretty full on. She had an online class, assignments due, final exams coming up next month. She's deep in the academic world.
Right. Her days are clearly structured around these external academic goals, deadlines. Her purpose seems quite defined by her studies. It demands focus, effort. It's a kind of mastery-focused approach.
And then there's Arian. He mentions he had some client meetings today. Ria says, that sounds serious, which is relatable.
Yeah, client meetings can sound intense.
But Arian's take is really positive. He says, yeah, but I like my job. I learn something new every day.
Ah, that's key.
It's a different kind of engagement than Ria's academic focus, isn't it?
It really is. That enthusiasm for learning something new daily, even with serious client stuff, suggests a strong intrinsic motivation. He's not just doing the job, he's actively finding growth in it.
So both of them, in their own ways, are finding purpose in their daily tasks.
Exactly. Whether it's through hitting academic goals or through that continuous learning on the job, different paths, but both seem engaged.
Right. Now, after all that work or study, you got to unwind. So, leisure time, weekend plans. Let's see what Arian and Rhea do. Arian's plans sound, well, pretty open-ended. Maybe I'll go to the mall or watch a movie.
Yeah. Casual options.
Rhea, though, has a specific plan. I want to visit a temple with my family.
That's quite a contrast in how they seem to approach downtime.
How so?
Well, Arian's choices lean towards maybe individual entertainment, passive stimulation perhaps, going to the mall, watching a movie. Rhea's plan seems more about community, maybe reflection, definitely family connection. It suggests a different kind of need perhaps for something more communal or spiritual.
Yeah, that makes sense. Different ways to recharge.
Exactly. These choices often reflect underlying needs: peace, entertainment, community, belonging. It varies.
And Rhea gives Arian that little nudge again. She says, don't stay home all the time.
Gentle encouragement.
And Arian comes back with, guess what?
Let me guess.
I'll try. You got it. I'll try to be more social. This "I'll try" theme is really consistent with him.
It is. It's a pattern. But interestingly, even though their weekend plans are different, they find common ground elsewhere.
Oh, right. The hobbies.
Yeah. Arian loves listening to music and watching cricket, and Rhea says, me too. But she adds reading and painting.
So there's overlap in music and cricket, and they even float the idea of going to an art show together sometime.
Right. So despite the different default modes, there are avenues for connection. And Rhea's gentle push. It's like a subtle form of social accountability, maybe.
Yeah, like friends do.
Friends looking out for each other's well-being, even if that "I'll try" signals, maybe not immediate action, but the thought is planted.
Okay, so as their chat wraps up, Rhea gives some really simple, but actually quite profound parting advice.
What was it again?
Don't forget to drink water and sleep on time.
Ah, yes, the fundamentals.
So basic. But it says a lot about just caring, doesn't it? Friendship.
It absolutely does. It's a key takeaway, I think, how these small, seemingly minor exchanges really reinforce those social bonds. The advice isn't complicated, but it's rooted in basic well-being. That's often how we show care in close relationships.
And then one last time, Arian's signature response.
I'll try.
There it is again.
We've heard it a few times now. It really feels like a core part of how he responds to suggestions for change. What does that pattern tell us? Well, it brings up that difference between commitment and intention again, maybe. Or perhaps it signals where he is in terms of readiness for change. His "I'll try" seems to acknowledge the advice is good.
Right. He's not dismissing it.
No, not at all. But it stopped short of a firm "I will." It's almost like a psychological safety net, leaving the door open for future action, but without the immediate pressure. And it also shows that their friendship is a safe space for these kinds of gentle nudges, even if they don't always lead to immediate concrete change.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it's really quite striking. This simple conversation, meant for language learners, actually gave us this rich picture of habits, goals, how people connect.
It really did.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? Even the most basic source material can offer some pretty deep insights into human behavior if you kind of look closely.
Absolutely. And thinking about the wider implications, understanding these little nuances, these subtexts, can really help you appreciate the depth in your own daily interactions. Every chat, however simple it seems, might be revealing hidden perspectives, subtle intentions, maybe unmet needs.
That's a great point. It encourages you to listen a bit differently, maybe. So here's something to think about as you go about your day. Consider the simple exchanges, the routines in your own life. If you looked closer, what surprising patterns might emerge? What unspoken desires or intentions might be hiding just beneath the surface of your everyday conversations?
What signals are you sending or picking up on without even realizing it?